Well, hello and welcome, and today you'll find me at Afan Forest Park, another beautiful area in South Wales. And when you do visit, you won't believe you're only 10 minutes up the Afan Valley from industrial Port Talbot and the steelworks. I remember coming here as a kid. This used to be a coal mining area, and they've got a really good coal mining museum when it's open. Back then, it used to be called Afan Argoed. Like the sun's back out again. The sun's coming out and go behind the clouds. The forecast is for it to become cloudy later this afternoon, but importantly, it's going to remain dry. Well, anyway, today's plan. I'm going to do the Ridgetop walk, which is this one. And it's about 5.5 miles, which isn't too bad, but it's meant to be quite steep and strenuous in parts, so fingers crossed. Well as walking, this area has become really popular for mountain biking, and there's over 100 kilometres of designated mountain bike trails in the area. As I mentioned with the museum, and being South Wales, the Afan Valley's got a rich industrial heritage, mainly through coal mining. The last mine closed in 1970. And 2 years later, in 1972, the area was designated as a forest park. I haven't been here since I was a kid, and I've never done this walk before. But about 6 months ago, myself and Mel drove through the area. You may be able to hear the road going through the valley. On our valley's road trip, I'll put the link to that below. We were on our way to the village just down the road, Brunel, and that was where Richard Burton, the famous actor, was born. So, while the sun's still out, let's get started. I've just started the walk and I've crossed over the bridge, but this spot relates back to the video I made last week over at Neath Abbey. Back in the 12th century, before the bridge was there, this used to be a crossing point, a ford, and it was used by the monks from Neath Abbey going to and from the monastery. So I've taken a little detour. I've joined another walk which runs parallel to the walk I was taking, so it's only down there. But I've come up here for a reason. Again, picturesque, beautiful, but look at this wall. This wall, it runs all the way along here like an embankment going down. And that's a little clue of the industrial past. And we'll get onto that in a few minutes. So the reason for that diversion is this, a tunnel. That stonework you saw earlier, that was part of an incline for a railway that ran alongside the valley. Then it turned off here through that tunnel to Briton Ferry docks. Briton Ferry docks were built by Brunel, but he died during the construction. He died in 1859. And this tunnel carried steam coal from the mines of Gyfylchi to the docks. It's 1,109 yards long, and it was completed in 1863. It finally closed in 1947. There was a landslip on the western side, and I think they found major cracks in the tunnel. But during the war, World War II, they did store armaments in it. I think there's a little, it looks like there's a hole in the wall. If there is, we'll take a look. Hello. Well, this is amazing. I haven't got a light. I've only got my phone light, so I haven't got a light bright enough So you can see right down, all the way down. If I'd known, I would have brought a powerful LED. But can you hear all the water dripping? Like something out of a horror film. Watch me as I go. What I'll try to do is take some photographs instead. Well, that was amazing. I'm really glad I took the diversion. Definitely one to explore a bit more in the future. Bit of a squeeze to get in, but it's big enough for me at 6 foot. So, but not one to try if you're afraid of the dark. So it's back down the old railway and rejoin the path for the Ridgetop walk. So what I'll do, I'll put my coordinates from the phone for the tunnel entrance. As you can see, starting to cloud over, but I'm now walking up the valley along with what would have been that railway track from the tunnel towards Glyncorrwg and the mines up there. And below me is the river. All the boulders and gravel you can see in the river, that's from the Ice Age. 10,000 years ago, in the last Ice Age, this area was the southernmost tip of the glacier, and all those boulders were being pushed down. Across from me, not far up from the entrance to the park, is a little village, and behind you can see green hills and trees. That's all waste from the old collieries. That would have been, obviously this day, would have been black coal waste. So now it's all been reclaimed and landscaped. So I'm going to continue following the path up to the ridgetop. So let's continue. So as you walk down the path, there's more signs. This what used to be the old railway line. This old bridge here. Well, as you can see, I'm back at that old ruined bridge. The reason being, I shouldn't have got there in the first place. I was meant to turn off up the hill before I got to this. So that's an extra mile for no apparent reason. Look at the weather. There's some big black clouds coming over the mountain. So I went too far that way. I've come back, and there's meant to be a path going up the side of the mountain there. But I can't find it. Everything's really overgrown. So I said I'm not lost, because I know where I am. But I don't know where to go next to follow this ridgetop path. I have asked somebody and they didn't have a clue. So anyway, bear with me. I'll get back to you. Well, the map's not very clear and there's no signs. I've worked out exactly where the path is meant to take you, and there's no route markers. I definitely walked too far. The only thing I found is this. You can see the path? Like I said, there's no route markers at all, and it looks like it hasn't been walked in ages. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'm meant to be going to the ruins of Nant-y-Bar Farm up the hillside. So I'll get back to you. well, there's nice views and everything, but this is definitely not the right way. It's just getting too thick. So back down, and I'll see if I can find another path. So the plot thickens. Not really where it's meant to be, but there is a path going up. It's not marked as a bike trail or anything. As you can see, there's no signs at all. So I'll take a look up there carefully, just in case there is anybody coming down. But there's nothing at all. As you can see, I'm sweating a lot. That is really steep. I think this is the path. It's definitely not a mountain bike track because there's no signs of them, and the runoff from the mountain has caused big grooves, especially down there. So, excuse it, heart's racing. So I'm trying to go to the top, see how far I get. Then have a stop, get my breath back. I don't think I'm going to do the whole circular walk because I spent 2.5 hours and I'm not even halfway around it yet. So that's because I got lost. So upwards. Time for a cup of tea. And the biscuit of choice today is a rich tea. And for any Americans watching, you are missing out on one of the best things in the world. Marmite sandwich. Well, I finally got to Nant-y-Bar Farm. I've walked 7 miles. The whole round trip is meant to be under 6. So I've definitely gone the wrong way. I got lost these endless trackways and forests. Anyway, Nant-y-Bar Farm. There's records of a farm from the 1500s, but the actual building was built in the 1600s, and it was a upland farm. In the 1800s, they discovered coal on the property. They obviously utilised that, and they had a steep incline going down to that mineral railway we mentioned earlier, down the side of the hill. In the 1800s, a family from Devon moved in, the Radmores, and they brought with them some Devon ponies to breed as pit ponies. But one of the things that happened when they were here, Mrs. Radmore planted a monkey puzzle tree in her garden, and that is still here. Obviously, over the years and the change of use, bits were added, extensions were put on the buildings. So let's go and have a look round and have a closer look at that remaining monkey puzzle tree. So that's the monkey puzzle tree, which was planted by Mrs. Radmore back in the 1800s. So this small river which ran through the yard, that was used to wash all the waste away. There was a pigsty there, probably other animals in the yard. So everything went in here and washed downstream, including the household waste probably as well. Like I said, I got a bit lost trying to find the ruins. So what I'll do, like with the tunnel, I'll get the coordinates off my phone and I'll put them over there. I hope that's helpful for you. Hopefully you can make out this arch. This is probably from the original building, but it's been bricked up. So I need to sit down. I've been walking for over 5 hours. I got lost. I was meant to be doing the Ridgetop Trail, and I think I've only done maybe a quarter to a third of it. But anyway, it's fun getting lost, and as you can see, the countryside around here is really picturesque, and like most of South Wales, there's industrial heritage everywhere. So congratulations for making it through the video to this point. And if you want to see more of our travels around South Wales and the rest of the world with myself and Mel, watch the videos below and the ones coming up next. And Mel is in those. I think I have to entice her out by bringing out a bag of chips and a jumbo sausage. But until next time, that's a bye from me. Bye.